Yeah, hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We have the wizard and we have Noor, the poet, in the studio. Come on.
Hello.
Come on. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're happy to have you here. What's going on, Noor?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? I'm grateful.
I'm good. I'm excited to have you in the studio. Pronounce your name right, yeah?
Yeah, no.
No. How do we know each other?
We met at a beautiful event called BYOB.
Yeah.
And you were just looking suave, man. You were just looking so cool. You were just looking so cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were just looking so cool. But then, like, your energy carried you as well. Like, you were just a lovely guy. Like, you was coming up to everybody. You was just trying to find out, like, just about, like, you was proper listening as well. Like, I feel like that's what I noticed about you. I feel like when people was making noise, which people do a lot at BYOB, you was kind of like, everyone listening, and I respected that and I appreciated that. So I felt like that was my first introduction of you. Now, what was your? Do you know what I mean? Why am I here?
Okay, you're here, and I was like to say that it's important when you're out and you're listening to artists perform to listen to the artists perform, man. It's respect. It is respect. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot to get up on the stage and do stuff. Just respect to that. You're here because when I like poetry, innit? I like life. I like talking to people. I just like meeting new people, interesting people. First and foremost, you had the guts to go on stage and like tell your truth, for want of a better kind of analogy. Then your truth, it had an intensity about it. What's the word? I was enticed by some of the words you were saying. I was like engrossed by your poetry. It took me in, but then yet still I just saw this young lady on the stage that was like, I've said it before, you was bigger than you almost was on the stage about other people. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? And the words you were saying, you never had no fear. The words were coming out weren't only poignant, they were like, to me, they were like, it's a kind of stiff stuff I go to poetry events for. There's other people out there as well. I can start reading off names, but they're going to come on the show at different times. But Big Scoop was the one who recommended you. No, RS. It was RS, sorry.
I was going to say,
let me get the wrong person.
Listen.
No, Big Scoop's good.
Big Scoop is sick too. RS is sick too. RS is my brother.
They're both amazing poets.
They're both amazing poets. Yeah, they're both fantastic.
And they're both very humble men as well.
Exactly. And they both talk about, that's what I'm saying, they both talk about the humility in what it is to like recognize your own wrongs, but also like reflect on them and like try to do better. Because like, I think sometimes we think we know everything, and like especially in music, like when you write music and like when you even poetry, sometimes you write an answer, but it's like it's not about like you pose a question in your head and you think you can write the answer, but it's not about writing the answer. It's about writing more questions, because we're always like, do you know what I mean? Like it's about deeping more questions, because there's always more you can ask.
There's a thing about that.
There's always more you can.
There's a thing about that. Mac, help me out. There's a thing about that. It's something about so many questions to pose, but how many answers? There's something poetic about that. I can't put my finger on it. But that, even you saying that, is beautiful. Rather than asking a question and trying to find the answer, continuously asking questions, because continuously we'll be solving stuff. Yeah. It's a beautiful ethos to have for life still. It's like RS put me onto you, and then like I said, because he was big before you went on stage, and then when you went on stage, I was like, wow, okay. And I'm listening, not taking away from anyone who does poetry or anything, but there's even within the whole like comedy, this, that, you've got people that you're drawn to and the people that you don't really, that you're not drawn to. Doesn't mean they're not good. Yeah. It's just not your cup of tea.
Preference, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you now, I was like, okay. And there was a lot at BYOB. Big up BYOB.
It's
do you know what I'm saying?
Space.
Big up.
It's big up BYOB. It's a beautiful space.
There was a lot. But I was like, come on. I was like, she's only about that big as well. Like, not being sized or nothing. And
it's true.
How did you come to be the person you are? What is your drive? Let's talk about your poetry, and then we'll talk about your life and everything as well. But how did I get the person that I saw on stage at BYOB? Because you came out like a firecracker. You spoke about some political stuff. You spoke about some personal stuff. Yeah. But I heard the words, and it was almost like you was painting the picture beautifully for me, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Firstly,
how did you get to that? What was your journey to get to there? How did you get to that person who I saw in front of me?
Do you know, it's mad, like, because you said something specifically and it gassed me. I started clicking. Like, that's something we do in poetry. Like, if you're feeling something, you click, because like if you're clapping, you can throw someone off. So like you click.
Clicking throws me off.
Yeah, clicking, and I hear that as well. Clicking throws me off sometimes. But you said like you seem bigger than you are, and I feel like I used to deep that as a problem. Like but this is the whole new solutionary thinking I'm trying to do. I used to deep that as a problem, that I felt like I thought I was bigger, and I thought my voice was deeper than it was. Do you know what I mean? In every situation. I'm not even just talking about writing, because I used to study law. That's a whole other thing. Like, I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Like, and then this is where I'm meant to be. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah. So for me, it was like, I always thought I was bigger than I was in every situation. Talking like, even if my dad's saying something, I just think I'm bigger. I always thought I was bigger than I am.
Tenacity about you.
Yeah, just because. And I deeped that it's not about deeping that I'm small and then being small. It's about deeping that I'm small and then deeping how can I be twice as big for them to deep how big I think I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm thinking I do.
So okay, let me try to say it another way. So it's like, I always thought I was bigger than I am. Yeah. So
yeah, you are. Let me just tell you that.
But the thing is, in situations, being younger, you're told you're not. You're always, especially as a girl, especially as a brown girl in like society, you're always told, listen, that's not your place to be big. It's your place to be pretty. It's not your place to be big. You keep quiet and just look nice, you know. But for me, I didn't want to do that. I've got shit to say, and I want to say it, and I can say it well if you let me say it. But it's about, no one's just gonna listen to me, and I had to deep that. I had to first deep how small I actually am. So I need to say it in a way that they are gonna listen, and that's why it was like, that ties into the whole, when I was doing law and I was studying law, I deeped very much that this ain't a space where no matter how much I say it, however I try to say it, they ain't going to respect it, just specifically because of the fact of how I am or whatever. I'm not going to be called for the cases I want to be called for. I'm not going to be...
your heritage, your size, your sexuality.
Size, heritage, sexuality, religion, all that stuff. I wouldn't be in those spaces that I wanted to be in to make the difference. And if I was, I'd be a token. And I'm not okay with being a token. I want to say what I want to say. I don't want to say what you've told me to say. Do you know what I mean?
One minute. Hold the press, because we got to get in. Give me your hand out here. This is what we're going to do. I'm not okay. Don't be okay with being a token. For fuck's sake, I'm trying not to swear too much, but you make me swear.
It's
Give
okay. It's okay.
Don't be a token. Be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Love that, Noor.
Yeah, because they want us as tokens now, because they're deep in the old diversity, and all they need is one to tick a box. They'll never invite two. Yeah. They never need two. Like, and that's where it's mad, because it doesn't make sense, and that's why in poetry, like in writing, I was like, okay, I can get on a stage and say, there's no one stopping me from saying anything. This is mad. Like, this is mad. And I can say it however I want to say it. Like, they're going to listen to me. So that's, I guess, what had me then deep in. It's okay to be small. I just have to show people how big...
How big you how big you really are.
Yeah.
And how big your energy is.
Thank you.
It's just your energy. God bless you, man. Listen, if you ever saw the way your eyes lit up when you were just talking about how you could talk about anything on stage with poetry, and that is the essence of poetry for me as well. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's like I said, it's your truth.
Exactly.
So you can talk it how you want to talk it. It can be crass, it can be angry, it can be happy, it can be sad. It can be words you wouldn't usually use in a normal context, but you could use it to define things that have no way connected, and that is just why it's just so lovely. Like, it's really nice. If you ever saw the way your eyes lit up, let's get that was nice as well.
It's true, it's beautiful. Like, it's actually, because honestly, like, this last year of poetry, it's been therapy as well.
The philosophy of poetry.
It's the philosophy of therapy. The philosophy of therapy. Imagine the philosophy of poetry. It's therapy.
It can be both ways, I think.
It's both ways. It genuinely is. Like, and I don't even think everyone needs to perform, or maybe even it doesn't even need to rhyme. But writing itself is therapy as well. Like, I think anyone can write through what they're going through, and I think, like, in trying to make stuff rhyme and write stuff this last year, I've deep bare about myself, and like just held myself accountable for so many things that I thought I knew, but you don't. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's okay too, because it's like you just ask more questions, and
you're actually growing bigger in the studio as we talk, for me, mate. I just let you know. Start to take up the room, cuz. Come on. No, it's good. It's good. It's a good, in a good way. In a good way. Let's talk about, where were you born?
I was born in Slough. Like, I was born in Slough. So I'm from Slough. So I was born here.
I'm gonna cut you lot out now. I want to wave at you as well. Like, I'm waving because I can't press the wave thing. Because you're on the live. But you have to catch the episode, okay? Done now. Love to you, man. Done now. Hold on. Get him a wave as well. How you back this thing around? How you turn this thing around?
We can do the
Just
front.
turn it like
We'll
that.
do the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely to see you guys. Hopefully catch the episode. Big Io, come on, live talks. You know how we go. You know how we go.
Yeah, do some. Yeah, come on, behind the scenes. That's behind the scenes, baby. How do I turn this thing off? Yeah, and that. I don't know how to. I'll share it. Live with Noor. How do you spell your name?
NOOR.
NOOR.
Yeah.
That's what I put live with Noor. How do I post
Thank
it
you,
now?
man.
I don't know what's. Can you help me post that? I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. So you born in Slough.
I was born in Slough. Yeah. I lived here. Like I lived in London all my life. But when
Brothers and sisters.
I got one brother.
Okay.
When I was about, do you know what's mad? I don't know if I've ever actually spoken about this, but this is quite. So when I was about 6, we actually moved to Lahore.
In India.
So in Punjab, like we was there for about 10 months. Dad was there for about 2 years and a bit.
So what was that like though? You know, like uprooting from here. So you had everything. You was born in Slough.
Yeah, so I was very young.
British that you knew. But did you have a strong where your parents from? Is it Lahore?
So no. So my dad is from Pakistan, but my mum's Middle Eastern. So my mum's from Bahrain, which is like a really small island near Saudi.
Okay.
So they're completely different. Yes, and they're very, very different cultures.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really grow up around either families. Like so.
Okay. Is that because? Sorry to cut you as well. Is that because they got together? Then the families wasn't accepting them.
No.
How did that work?
So culturally, like in a lot of brown cultures, like the marriages are arranged from like most cultures. So my parents' marriage was actually arranged.
Okay.
So they had an arranged marriage. Their fathers, like all that stuff, like they all knew each other and all that. So they got married. Family stuff happens, conflicting stuff, all of that lot. I think the cultures were conflicting. My mum's from a different place, dad's from a different place. So family stuff, all that. But so my dad, another thing culturally, which is weird because I was so young, I don't think I had never experienced culture. I always say I wish I was more cultured. Like I'm quite uncultured, but from young, I guess I grew up in quite a cultured state because my mum and dad lived in their family home when they first got married, because that's just how it goes for a lot of families, like a lot of cultural families.
Of the elders,
the elders and all that. Yeah. So that was for like 6 years, or like maybe 2. No, what am I saying? There was a lot of drama. I'm gonna say a couple years moved out, all that stuff. But so when I was about 6, that's when Dad was like, I'm trying to start my own thing. So he decided, for I don't know why, to do that in Lahore. He'd never been there. He was born here. Yeah. Like, so my dad is also a very, very British guy, private school. My dad was very, very well off. So that's another thing. I never really grew up like that. So, but he was like, he had all of that lot. Went over there, enjoyed himself a bit too much, stayed there a bit too much. We came back because the funds was a bit low. It was, then again, it's another whole struggle. So from when I was like 6, I would say, we probably came back when I was 7. Yeah, so from 7, I guess it's been a bit of a struggle because it was like, I think for me, I've always known struggle. But what's mad is I've always known my parents have always grown up very affluent, and they have that mentality as well. Like they are very proud because they're
still together now.
They're still together. They've had a lot of like separations and back, and you know, it's all 6 degrees of separation. Do you know what I mean? Like all of them. But alhamdulillah, do you know what I mean? Like they're blessed. Like they're together. But yeah, obviously it's been a struggle, I think, and I think financially it's always a burden. And I think what we don't deep is when you do come to a different place from a different culture, and there's an expectancy to also be helping everyone back home and here, and to sustain both of those, and that's a financial burden on a lot of our parents that then I think when it comes to us, it's like really a burden, and maybe we take that on as well.
What did you say when it comes to us? What do you mean?
Because I think we take it on, because even though we're as young kids,
I would say though, but when you say that, I'm talking because I understand what you're saying, because I'm Nigerian, and there's other countries as well. When people come to London, nations come to London, they're expected to help people back home when they're not in as good position as you are.
But because you're here,
it's automatically assumed that you're in a better position than them, but it doesn't necessarily translate to that.
They got the bigger house. They got the help. Like, do you know what I mean? No, but like But no, obviously that it's subjective. But in terms of like that stuff, like
it's expected, it does. It is a burden, and it is a cost to bear, and it can be pressurized. Because what I was going to say is like, although they've got that bigger house, they've got this, they've got that, they think the revenue streams here all the time. So if you can send for 2 or 3 months, doesn't mean it's always going to be like that here. We have hardships and problems here, but because we're in London or wherever we are, not at home, they are assuming the streets are paved with gold, and we're withholding the money, and that can cause conflict within families as well, which I've seen. Like, it's mad, but I don't know. But that one's
techie, innit? That one's techie.
Because you've got people who are coming, and families are sending you, and you're coming here to make a better life for your family. So that they think that's your whole ulterior motive, and there's people at home just waiting for what you're sending back. So I can understand it could be a problem, but how did that affect you? Like, so the to and fro at that age? For
me, I feel like it was a case of, because I saw, and because I was always like brought up in a way, like my dad went to private school, like my mum went to a private school.
You
like,
didn't?
Are you mad? I went to the craziest state school. And listen, like now, I say state school, the fact that I have to differentiate is mad, because I just went to school, innit? Like, I went to a school that I thought was a normal school, but then growing up, it's like, if I'm talking to dad about things at school, they're like, what do you mean? Like, do you know what I mean?
Would you have wanted to go to a private school?
No, I don't think so. Like, I feel like I didn't grow up like that. Like, I didn't grow up like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, all my, like, I grew up blessed. I grew up grateful. I grew up in a, you know what I mean? I grew up happy, all that stuff. However, like, they grew up very differently. So I think seeing that and then seeing how stressed they were to be in all that I knew that I was pretty blessed and happy for was like raw. Like, I don't know. From young, I feel like it made me think, I need to get this back for them. I need to get my money up. I need to, you know, because I need to make sure mortgage is paid off, all these things.
Yeah, you start taking on their burdens and stuff.
Yeah,
At what age was that? Did you start doing that?
I've always
thinking like that?
I feel like I've always thought like that.
How old are you now?
I'm 24. But I feel like I've always thought like that. I genuinely, I feel like when I was 11, I was like, I want to be a lawyer because that's the highest paying job. And if I got the highest paying job, these lot ain't going to have to worry. No one's going to have to worry. There's not going to be no stress. Because I think...
You're very fast, you know.
As in like talking?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You think, no, it's not bad for you. I just observation. You're very fast. And like, is this like something like, how can I say it? Because if you talk fast, you think fast.
Yeah.
So academically, because you said you've done law, how was you academically? I'm just trying to break down your whole story, you know. I don't want to get to the poetry. I understand.
Yeah.
Because for me, there's a lot of stuff within inside you as well, which is making sense now about your, I thought he was waving at me. It's about your parents' education and so on and so forth. Because you're highly intelligent. Whether it is genetic or it's as a benefit of the education your parents had and then what was going on in your house, you're very intelligent. You're very political and stuff. Nah, it's cool. God bless you. You're very humble as well. So, talk to me about school and stuff. Like, have you always been like, because I talk fast too. I'm not going to give myself props. But you talk fast, so you think fast. So I'm trying to find that you know what I'm saying? Fill the gaps.
Yeah, I get you. Like, I feel like in school, like I always had good grades. But I also wanted to chat. Like, I also wanted to just like, I also was always distracting everyone. I guess that was always the report card, innit? The report card was she's got bare potential, but she's bare distracting. So like, do you know what I mean? So that was the thing.
Exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Exactly
So it was like, listen, I'm just done here. So it's like, I want to get on to the next thing, and you lot are not giving me the next thing. So it's like, I'm gonna just talk. Like, you know, there's nothing else to do. And I feel like I knew that not that I knew I could do law, but to a certain extent, I was like, okay, if I put my mind to this, I can do it. And I really, really, really thought, because obviously I made this decision at 11. At 11 years old, I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer, not just a lawyer, a judge. Like, I'm going to change the world. I stuck to that till I was 21. Nice. No, 21. 21 years old is when I dropped out. I dropped out to do writing. Like, literally, I dropped out.
Poetry?
Not just to write. So I first thought I was going to write music. Like, I do music. That's how I've done music from young. Like, even when I was doing all this other stuff, music has always been, I love music. Yeah. And I think the reason I fell in love with poetry was because, as I say, I always think I'm bigger than I am. So I thought I was a rapper in a lot of ways, like in a lot of the things I was writing as well. And what was crazy was
you are bigger than what you are.
So thank you. So I used to, my friends, they were rappers. They were doing music and stuff. So I would like write with them, and like I thought I was a little rapper. And then I went to a poetry event, and I don't know if you know who YA is, Yasmin Ali. Phenomenal writer.
That name,
of course.
Now you said that name. Wait a minute. What she look like?
She's beautiful.
She's mixed race.
She's South Asian.
South Asian, Yasmin, I don't know.
Yasmin Ali. I'll show you.
You show me afterwards. We won't get on the show. I think she's coming on the show soon.
She's coming. She's amazing. She's like my older sister now, but I didn't know who she was, and I thought she was a rapper, and so I went to a show assuming she was a rapper, and I get there and it was BYOB, and I was like, rah, this is poetry, and I did not know what poetry was. I did not know what spoken word was.
That was your first introduction to it.
I thought it was a rap event. I thought poetry was Shakespeare. That's that on that. Like, I didn't know spoken word.
It is, but it's not only that, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, spoken word is such a different thing to me. I feel like spoken word is like theatre, music, and poetry, I guess. Like, it's the three combined. Like, and it's beautiful. Like, and I think it's...
Say again. Poetry to you is...
Poetry is like theatre, music, and poetry combined. Like, that's spoken word. I think that's how spoken word is different to poetry. Like, poetry can be like a couple lines on a page. Like, poetry could be Shakespeare, poetry could be whatever. But where like it goes into spoken word is when someone's on stage and it's like scene. It's literally, it's theatrics. It's music as well, because it's almost like they've got a flow to what they're saying. It's not just that they're not just reading it. Like, that's where spoken word is like, oh, it's sick. It's actually sick.
It's almost like storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a story. And it's their story. It's like we was talking about, like you said earlier, like everyone, literally, like you said, everyone's life is their own movie. Like, everyone's life is their own story.
Hold up. Sick. Wait a minute. Yeah, we said it earlier. We said it.
Yeah, you did.
Say that again, no.
You say that again. You tell them. You said it. Tell them you said it.
What did you say? What is it?
Everyone's life is a movie.
Everyone's life is a movie. Like what myself and Noor was talking about before when we was outside, before the interview, was certain things that happened in our life or happening in our life and so on and so forth. And we came to the conclusion that everyone's life is a movie. It's like, might not be an action movie, might not be a love story, but it's a movie. You have your own like nuances, and every day you wake up and it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. Make it the best possible movie it can be for yourself. Please enjoy it. Life's amazing, trust me. But yeah, it's a movie. Give me free for that though. Life's a movie. I want free.
Facts. And you know what else?
Go on.
You got to be the main character of your own story. Otherwise, you're in a side man in your own book. How can you be a side man in your own book?
I made a cake. You just put sprinkles and chocolate on top of it. I like that.
That's the thing. You got to be the main character.
You got to be the main character. Yeah. Don't be the side man in your own book.
Yeah, because sometimes we put other people's, and you were saying this to me earlier as well, sometimes we put other people's stuff in the same level as our own. Yeah, but you're the main character in your book. They're the main character in their book. Yeah.
So therefore, just because you've got something that you want to do and you really want them to do it with you, doesn't mean they share the same enthusiasm, energy towards it, and they won't share the same dedication. And then when they let you down, you can't really get upset, because if you deep it, like you've been saying, like if you deep it, they were never on this page. This was your dream. This was your thing. They are your friend. They do love you, but they wasn't part of this. So when they let you down, don't get mad.
Yeah, facts.
Get in your head and understand what it is, isn't it? You got a poem for me.
Oh,
you did. You must have known that was coming.
Of course I do.
Yeah, you must have known that was coming.
Okay, I want you to pick what kind of poem do you want? You want a happy poem?
I want a happy poem.
Do you know what's so mad?
Huh?
My mum was saying to me today, you need to write a happy poem because you don't have any happy poems. And I was like, I do. And I started reading a happy poem and I was like, oh wait, then it gets sad.
I do. I like that. Wait, you can look for a poem. Let's talk about your mum. What's your relationship like with your mum?
Do you know what? I feel like my mum's beautiful. My mum is the strongest person ever, I think, genuinely. And I feel like we all think that about our mums, innit? Because like mum's just a superhero. I don't know.
I love my mum. I think my mum is the strongest person as well, in case that's misconstrued. But I don't know if we all think that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like,
yeah, do you know what I mean?
Spartans!
Yeah. Like, assemble.
Only women give birth to real men.
Listen. And the thing is, I think we don't. For me, when I was younger, I very much struggled with the relationship with my mum. Like, I don't think we had very much of a relationship till I was about, I want to say probably about 16, 17. I don't think we had much of a relationship. Like, we just didn't really talk much, but she was going through it. Like, she was going through life. And the fact that what I didn't see then is that every single day this woman still turned up, this woman still went to work, this woman still paid the bills, this woman still did everything she needed to do. Do you know what I mean?
She never gave up.
Never, not one moment. And like, she could have taken bare days off like that. Like, and like, obviously everyone takes days off. I mean, like, everyone has bare times when it gets bare bad. But the thing is, we always had a house. We always had like clothes. We always had, do you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, like, everything else.
As a child, you was allowed to be a child.
Exactly.
What's your mum's name?
My mum's name's Sana.
Sana, God bless you, Sana.
God bless you, Sana.
Yeah.
Genuinely though.
No, loves you, Sana.
Genuinely though. Genuinely.
Yeah, no, I see the genuine. I see the in your eyes. It's in your eyes, mate. You can't. Some things you can't hide. Some things people can lie about. But the eyes are the windows of the soul. Certain things you can tell. Certain things when they're integral. You can tell when someone's lying to you a little bit. You know, like from the eyes. That's where the giveaway comes from.
Yeah.
So go on. Your mum being the pillar. Talk to me more about your mum.
Man. She's just. I think, as I was saying, like, when I was younger, we didn't really have that relationship. We didn't really talk much. But she, her life is also mad. So she was born 15 years after the closest sibling to her, and then she's got like 4 siblings. So it's like she was a complete mistake, accident, and the baby of like the baby. Like her siblings were having kids when she was born.
Baby, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, type of thing. Like, basically, like, her siblings were getting married when she was born. Like, it was. It was very different for her. She was spoiled rotten. And then I think when she came to this country, and obviously she's from Bahrain. Bahrain is a very affluent place. She grew up very well.
What?
The country is Bahrain.
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 That's
Yeah,
right.
Bahrain. Yeah,
Bahrain.
come on. You got Bahrain. Yeah, Bahrain. Yeah, Bahrain. Come on. We'll say.
Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
Bahrain. Yeah, Bahrain. Cool. That one. Yeah, she's from there. She's from, like, you know, she's from clicking her fingers and getting what she wants. That's how she grew up her whole life. So I think when she got married and everything changed for her, and she still was able to do everything she did, and she's still, do you know what I mean? She can still laugh. She's hilarious. Like, she's so funny. Like, she's actually so funny, innit? Like, funny, she's so funny. So that's what I'm saying. I think she's a beautiful person.
Do you think that's where you get some of your tenacity?
100%, 100%. Like, that woman said, listen, you want something, you go do it, because there ain't no one else going to do it for you. Do you know what I mean? That's so important, and it's something I don't think I ever deeped when I was younger, but I'm deep in that now, that if I want something, I will do it. I don't need to look at anybody else or figure anything else out. I'm going to just go and do it.
Yeah, it's
if anything goes wrong,
support and someone to tell you that, though, you know, innit?
Yeah. It's not even about tell me. I feel like there's a lot of things that I just have to see her do and learn, and that's how she teaches. Yeah. My mom's not the type to sit me down and tell me or do like whatever. Like, it's a case of she'll do something, I probably won't rate it. It'll be a lot later where I'll look back and I'll be like,
there's a method to your madness. Now you understand.
Yeah.
There's you, anyone out there, because us olders, we know already. But you youngers, there's a method to your parents' madness. If someone says they love you and you really believe they genuinely love you can see they love you, but they're telling you certain things as you're young, but you don't like, trust me, they're trying to help you. Listen to them, please. Even if you don't listen to them, listen to them. Don't not listen to them, but take heed. So at least, because I feel that a lot of the time I've learned the same way you've learned. I said, oh, that's what she was talking about. Or that's what he meant. Okay. Years later. So just be open to receiving the stuff, man.
That open to receiving in every situation. That one's so important. That's so important.
You know what? You said something when we come in, and I remember Dear Mick saying something like that. It goes, trust people to be who they are. Like, trust a dog to be a dog, a cat to be a cat, but know them when you see them. That's Dear Mick. But know them when you see them. That's important. To receive, don't receive from everyone.
Don't act blind, because now you know. Don't get bitten again.
Why? Because in your firecrackiness, there's not even a word, in your firecrackiness, Noor, when you came on stage that day, you're very politically activated. You're very politically, like, you think you're very, I'm not mixing my words up, but you're very passionate about political issues.
Do you want me to give you that piece?
Yeah, you can. I want to give you more than one piece, because you're going to give a piece now, you're going to close with a piece. Okay. But yeah. But I want to ask you, where does that come from? Because because you got people out here, you're tenacious, you can do what you need to do, your mum's showing you how to be strong and all that, but you're not just being strong for you, you're trying to be strong for other people as well. And as you put it so quaintly, because what is that like being a little brown girl as well? You said it's not easy because we are labelled by however we look by society constantly. It's undeniable. No matter what we look like, whether we're big and black, small and brown, white and whatever. People label us like it's because it's racism and stuff, but every human being has a prejudice or something, or a thing that they look and they'll make an assumption straight away, and then it's for us to either break that assumption, if we really need to do that, or not even take it on board and continue to be ourselves. But it is hard. Like it's almost like because me being big and black, I know what battles I go through. So being like he said it as well. What did he say? A small brown girl.
A small brown girl. Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you do it, mate? And then just talk to me, innit? I get excited and I get lost in my conversation sometimes.
No, I love it though.
Being political, being a small brown girl, but not letting that define you. You do what you need to do, and I want that political piece afterwards, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, God, if I asked a clear question there, I don't know if I asked a clear question.
No, 100%. There's a complete question there. So I feel like it goes a lot back to what you're literally saying there. I think someone that we're always labelled as something, whether it's like, as you're saying, big and black, small and brown, like skinny and white, like whatever the situation is. And to talk on those situations, potentially to make a difference on those situations, or to talk about those situations, we have to be from those situations. However, the system doesn't do that. The system isn't for that. Like, even if you take it back to like deep, okay, for example, therapy, is not an old like thing. Like, it's what, 50 years old. Yeah, practice. It's not an old practice. Like 50 years old. Or sorry, psychology in general. Psychology is not even an old practice. Like a couple hundred years. Yeah. Psychological studies were done on classifications of just white men, like white middle-aged men. That was it. That was the only classification it was done on. However, for years on years, we were diagnosed with those classifications. Everyone in the world, everyone. So it's like, for me, it's a case of we need to be in those places ourselves, and to make that difference. And yeah, you might not listen to me as this little brown girl, but if me as this little brown girl inspires 2-3 more, and then those 2-3 more inspire 2-3 more, and then those 2-3 more, and then 4-2 whatever, then there's like maybe 100 that all speaking their damn truth, and then you got to listen to them. Do you know what I mean? And it's I guess it's like that snowball thing where it's like everyone says you can't make a difference as one person, but now you can't if everyone is thinking they can't make a difference as that one person. Do you know what I mean? No, again.
Because you're small, you got to reach over the table, man.
But nah, it's true.
Say that again.
Everyone thinks they can't make a difference as one person, but you can't make a difference if you think you're that one person that can't make a difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You just made a difference for me, you know. I'm not even just, yeah, nah, for real though. Yeah, that's...
Alright, so...
No, yeah, go on.
Let's talk.
Yeah, go on.
I want to start a conversation, and I want you to speak. Tell me your thoughts in our nation. Tell me, why does a rich man get that much more than the poor? Tell me, why are there people eating off the floor? Tell me, why is this how we're living? Why is this a path that we all walk? Shit, man. Why don't we just talk? So let's talk. Let's talk about the world. Let's talk about faults. Let's chat about all that is wrong. Let's chat about Johnson, Biden, Putin, Kim Jong-un and Trump. How are these our leaders? All they do is deceive us. Like, they have us believing that they're helping us eat, but they're taking our food straight from our plates, and they're having their feast right in front of our face from the money that we all make. Like, why is it the answers, they're not available? Furthermore, nor society ever being stable, but they say they're more than capable. Even so, there is no security for the minority. There is no insurance of health, let alone any assurance of wealth. Like, why is this how we're living? Why is this the path that we all walk? Shit, man. Why don't we just talk? So let's talk. Let's talk about greed. See, when you're born in a world where they only teach greed, when you're taught to take from another man's plate to eat, when you're taught that that's the only way to succeed, look, we've got to start cooking up a meal for our own team. Understand there ain't no time for this nonsense beef. Understand we're more than what they've told you to be. Understand there's books out there other than just the ones they've told you to read. I don't want to live this cookie cutter life. The degree that we need, that they say that we need to achieve, then we get it and we see that this world, it's all about greed. And tell me, baby, please, what did it help you to achieve? Are you living in the hills? Have you paid all of your bills? Are you happy inside? Or do you still feel alone in this life? Look, we're alone in this life and we don't know why, but it's because we've accepted this cookie cutter life. Look, these puppet strings, they have us dancing, working 9 to 5, thinking we got it figured out and everything's all good. But look around. we're still stuck in that same hood. There's still kids crying. There's still youths dying. They don't care, man, and they never will. It's part of a system that sets us up to fail. So we're left with a question. How can we prevail? For starters, I beg everyone, stop quoting the Daily Mail. Thank you.
Yeah.
My hand's gonna hurt you now. My hand's gonna hurt you now.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. That's food for thought.
Thank you.
That's a lot. Where did that come from? What inspired that? Yeah, what inspired that?
That piece. Do you know what?
It's like you talk to the man there, but you talk to us. It's nice. I love your flowing. I love the way you flow. It's like
thank you. Do you know, thank you. I feel like my that piece especially. I wrote that when I really deeped that Donald Trump and Boris Johnson are two leaders of the world. Like, I bare deeped it. I just bare deeped it. And it was just that singular thought. It was that singular thought that those two men, are leaders of the world. Like, decisions that are being made of the safety, of the financial stability, of the economy, of everything, of the world. Yeah. Because they are world leaders, those two. Yeah. Those two men. And then I was deep in, like, you know them, remember when Boris used to, like, ride around on that bike and his hair and everything.
I know his hair.
That's the vision. I'm just deep in. And I was like, this man, like, this man, like. Yeah. And I was like, I need to word it. I need to pen it because I just couldn't stop thinking about this. Like, it was actually bare stressful.
It's a lot.
Like.
Got some stuff in here for you.
Do you write?
Yeah. Do I write?
Yeah.
Poetry?
Anything. Like, do you write?
Yeah. I write a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I write a lot.
Can you give us something? Just a cheeky 16 bar. A little flavour.
Somebody please call 911. All right. Oh, mate. Look, Noor's trying to put me on the spot. Have I got anything committed to memory? I don't think I've got anything to commit to memory right now.
Yeah, your phone's right there.
And that will be all the way out of Life Talks about Fawole. That was Noor, the voice man, not the voice man, I'm going to wizard. Wow. All right. So what do you want then? What do you want? Do you want happy, sad? Do you want happy, sad, angry, philosophical?
Something philosophical.
Philosophical. Shit, would choose fucking philosophical. I don't know mate.
Give us a taster. You don't have to give us all. Do you know what I mean? I have put you on the spot. Just give us
taster.
Give us a taster. Give us a taster.
Philosophical. Oh. No, political or philosophical?
Oh, this is a political, like, we're doing a political theme, so yeah. Give us a political.
For my next guy, but it's okay. Where is it? Oh, shit. You really put me on the spot. No!
We love to say it.
She tried to get my man. She tried to get me. Here's what I made earlier. All right, what have we got? All right. So, this is a poem, the same as you. This particular poem, I write poetry all the time. I perform as well. I don't know if you've seen me perform, but I like to perform poetry when I can. This poem was written because of something I saw on TV, and it was to do with something in Nigeria called NSARS or SARS, which was a police force that was put in place to combat robberies and so on and so forth. My understanding is, and then when these things were combated, they turned into the robbers themselves. They started terrorizing people and doing the things that they was put in place to prevent. So I just saw something in the news. I was at work, same as you. I was lunch break, not trying to gas it up on that. Just wrote this on my lunch break quickly. Yeah, that's what I don't know. Right, so it starts like this. How it goes for you, Noor. Go with a spot. You people back home, yeah? You Nigerians, listen closely. I never claimed to be political, but in the motherland, things are critical. That's why I'm reaching out. I've seen and read many things, but I never thought I'd see this day in my adult lifetime. It smashed my heart and messed my mind. Pain is an understatement. I'm human, so I have the capacity to be selfish. But the emotions brought up by what I've seen recently, I cannot shelf this. I'm a Nigerian, firstborn generation in London, so my understanding, my way of living is different from my brothers and sisters back home. I'm seeing, reading and hearing things that can't be condoned. Robbing, stealing, beating, killing of our own. By the people put in place to protect us. It's madness. It's insane, inhumane, incomprehensible. It's been going on for years. It's indefensible. Did we not learn anything from the late, great Nelson Mandela? Massacres in Rwanda, the struggles in the Congo, music from Fela. We trade dictators for individuals that hate us, can't see their brothers and sisters doing good, governed by a government that refuses to do what they should, driven by hatred and greed, watching Africans bleed and die. Why? So our resources can be divided amongst the rest of the world. How stupid are we? Open up your mind or you're blind. What's it going to take for us to see? Did no one learn from slavery? I'm not political. Things are critical. Africans, not just Nigerians, must stand shoulder to shoulder and refuse for this to continue. We are powerful people. I know you have it in you. That's why I'm reaching out. I'm not political. This is just how I feel. That's your piece.
That's beautiful. That's
just it's just a piece of it. Yeah.
No,
Thank you.
Do you know what's mad?
Go on.
Is that you say a few times, but I'm not political. And I think we're often like, we think we can't speak on things because we're not completely versed in them. So it's like, oh, but I don't know in it. Because I always end a lot of things like, but I don't know. Because it's like, don't quote me.
Yourself. Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. It's one of them ones where it's like, but who can then? Like, who is to speak on it if it's not the people going, like the people affected by it, the people having the feelings, like, you know, like, and it's mad because we all do that.
Do you know what I think that you're doing and I'm doing when we do that is because I had a feeling at the time about that stuff, and I had a definitive message that I wanted to get across, but I didn't want it to be clouded by the fact of people thinking I'm trying to jump on the political bandwagon. So therefore, like when you say your things as well, what you're saying, you're giving information, you're giving stuff, but you don't want people to feel like you're saying like, you know, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is just my perspective. So do you know what I mean? And I think it's more often than we don't, like, it's just that kind of thing, like just for it to not to get clouded, because I'm not out there like Biden or whatever every week. But right now, I got something to say, so I won't be here every week saying it. That's more. I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it was that, and I think that's what that is, and it's just a way of us trying to say like, please just listen and eat the food. Like, you know what I mean? Eat the food. Enjoy. Let's share. We're trying to share out here.
Nurture yourself.
Yeah. So look,
like
you got me all missed up for this motherfucker. Look at you. What was your first poem you ever wrote?
Ever? I don't know. Ooh. I've always written stuff, but first I've written to show someone.
Yeah, go on, babe.
First I've written and shown someone.
Yeah. What's the first poem you recollect writing? Like, what's the first poem you remember writing? It could be anything. It could have been primary school. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's oh.
I think that, to be honest with you, right? The first poem I ever wrote was "Roses are red, violets are blue." Blah blah
That's
blah
what I'm
blah
saying.
blah blah
always
blah
written,
blah.
so
Something
I'm
like that.
sure it was
something like that. And I went on from there still, but that was my first.
That's the thing, like, because I've always written, so I feel like maybe when I was younger, there must be something, but I can't really recall that far back. The first poem that I ever wrote and showed someone though, was a piece called Timmy. And
do you remember it? Any of it?
Yeah. So that piece is about it's about police brutality actually, and I wrote that because a friend of mine, he was just on his way home from somewhere, and he just got stopped by the feds for like no reason, innit? And it was just a case of, I was like, that's
black?
not okay. Yeah, of course he was black. And it's like, it's messed up because it's like, no, but that's literally the only reason. And I was like, that's not okay. Like, and because I'm such this activist person, I was very young at the time. I was very young. I thought I was like 18, 19. And I'm such this activist person. I was like, that's not okay. Like, you just got your license. What do you mean you've been stopped like this many times? Like, we've got to do something about this. Like, And he's like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like, I just know now if I go out at these times, if I'm wearing a hoodie, I got to put my hood down, I got to drive with the window open or do something to make me look less suspicious. And this is literally how he was talking. And I was like, yo, like, that's crazy. Like, da, da, da. And he's like, listen, at least we don't live in America. And when he said that, I was like, yo. And now, what's just crazy about this piece is Chris Carver. Like, yeah, we don't live in America, but what difference does that make? Because now that this is the life we're living in. But at that point, I was like, right, like, at least we don't. Imagine if we lived in. Of course, it's very different. It's very
numbers.
That's what I'm saying.
What we see is what we see.
That's what I'm saying. So when he said, at least we don't live in America, like, that's when that, like, I was bare deep in that piece. I was like, right, like, imagine if, like, we lived in America. Like, how many friends would I have lost? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, that's actually a mad thought. So, yeah, that was his piece with Timmy.
Nice. You're going to close with it for us, or do you want to do it?
Yeah, no, I'll close with that one. I'll close that one. Yeah, I'll close with that one.
We've got time.
Yeah.
It's just so happens my book opened up on the poetry questions. What are the odds,
Hello.
huh? What are the odds? Now, you remember the questions we've done before, Wizard? Because, so I've got some poetry questions, I've got some general knowledge questions.
I've
got the general knowledge ones for everyone. So you have the poetry questions. So, okay, what does poetry mean to you? If you answer that already, we're gonna do these like not actually quick fire, but we'll just go through some of them like, but some will go more in depth to whatever you want to say. I mean,
first thing that came to my head is therapy, so I'm gonna stick with that one.
Bang!
Yeah, first thing when you said poetry, therapy.
Every time our thoughts slightly correlate, I'll give you 3. Doesn't matter if they don't, but if they do, it's more exciting for me. So here we go. Poetry is therapy to me too.
Poetry is therapy. 1, 2, 3.
Come on!
Yeah.
Shit, you better get to know. Where does your passion from poetry come from?
So I feel like a lot of times when you're going to write a poem, or when you're thinking about something, it's a feeling, but it's not a physical thing. You can't hold it, you can't name it, you can't do anything about it. It's a feeling. So I think the love from poetry and like the meaning and everything, I feel like that comes from being able to make it tangible, make that feeling tangible, because it's like you can feel something and then you can see it and you can recite it and you can read, whatever, and that's that there.
That's beautiful, like that. Man. That's beautiful, and it's just maybe sort of seeing that emotion on a page, or understanding that emotion with different words at a certain time, like, and then
because you turn a feeling into a thing, and then you're no longer, it's okay, you can put that away now, like for a bit, you can go back to it, you don't need to completely repress it. Of course you should go back to it, but for now at least I can put it away, I can think about something else.
It's almost like you exhale it.
Okay.
It's almost like you exhale it for real. I'm feeling you, because you feel better afterwards. Noor! Oh my goodness. If your poem were colours, give me another 3 fucking hell.
The first person that's requested the 3 as well.
Oh yeah. The first person said, yo, get back. Yeah. Shit, we up in the house today. Alrighty then. Remember you bigger than me, girl. Goddamn. If your poems were colours, what colours would they be? Why?
I think a lot of them would be grey, because I don't think they are black or white. A lot of them are trying to find out what's in the middle.
Nice. Who's your favourite poet? Not you, and why?
Do you know what? It has to be Miss YA, Yasmin Ali.
Big up Miss Yasmin Ali.
Big up Miss Yasmin Ali. Big up my sister. That the way that woman writes, it's like, she says it as well. It's big. She goes, at this point, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Like that. Like my pen, it comes from there. Like it comes. Like she'll learn. Like it just comes out, and it's beautiful, because it's lessons. Like to me, it's lessons. Like, because she's much older than me, and she is not much. She's 21. She's older than me, and she is a South Asian woman. And for me, it's a case of, especially in creative spaces, there's not many examples that I can look up to, and not just look up to, but look up to and learn from, in the way that aspire to be like as well. Of course, because it's a case of, like, as I said, I would love to be more cultured, and because I I knew of it when I was younger, but I was never around it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because my mum's family was all in the East, and we didn't really chat to my dad's family, so there was no culture. Even though I knew I was brown, like everyone told me I was brown. I am brown, but from age of from age of 7, that was like I would love to be more cultured. So I think seeing role models like that, and they're talking about like things within culture, and I'm learning, and it's about like religion, and it's about those things, and I'm almost like finding it for myself, and I think that's beautiful. And I think that is what, because poetry is so subjective, like you said, it's about you, it's about your journey. So your favorite poet is probably going to be someone that looks a bit like you, that you can, or that's in the same place in life as you, or that's doing something you want to do. Do you know what I mean?
In a certain way, the words you've identified with, their exhalation, like when they exhale, could be your inhalation, or you know, like seriously, it works like that, and it's just a beauty. It's just, and that is what, like, when you perform your piece, whether it is the words, your style, your energy, your tenacity, your confidence, something for me resonated. Something I identified with something in you, and I was just like, you know, like I was listening to you. That's what I go to poetry events for. Even to talk to people, I want to listen to the people I'm talking to. You know what I mean? Forget just being in a performance, just generally. And I was genuinely listening to you, and I love that when you can listen to what people are saying, and what they're saying captivates you. So it's like, poetry. Yeah. So, what's your favourite poem? Yours or someone else's, and why?
I'm going to say the first thing that comes to my head, and I don't want to sound big-headed. I'm humble.
Say it,
however,
you got to say it.
Actually, it's one of mine. It's one of mine.
Good.
It's called Moon versus Sun.
Moon versus Sun.
Yeah.
Is it a long piece?
It's about 3 minutes. It's going to be on my EP though. So I'm releasing a poetry and music EP in December.
Thank you. Heard it here first.
You actually heard it here first. There's actually an exclusive. Come on.
Noor releasing EP poetry on.
There's no date.
In December.
In December.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Come on.
But yeah, Moon versus Sun is the
Moon
first piece.
versus Sun.
Yeah, it's the first piece on there, and it's just about how, I guess, women are told to be a light, but be a light behind someone's sun, because that's how the moon works, isn't it? The moon doesn't have its own light. The moon works from the light of the sun. So it's like, if you deep a woman as the moon and a man as the sun, that's kind of how culturally we're kind of brought up, innit? Like, and it's just about that. So I love that piece, because I think it always touches, like, there's always women like coming up to me crying, and I don't love that, but I do love that in a way, because it's a case of like, it means someone, that and I think that's all we can ever hope to do, that someone can feel a bit less alone, or like feel a bit like, oh, that is something that I haven't thought of, but I can voice that now to someone else, like, you know, and that's nice. Thank you, bro.
That's what we can hope for, to help other people. That's it. It's beautiful.
True.
That's
even just saying hello, even just the way that you are. No, but I'll even say, like, even just in the way that, like, you are so, like, just lovely, just even in general, like, to strangers, that is part of that. It's just about, is there any way that I can make this person's day a little bit brighter? Like, the next 5 steps, are they smiling because I just told them to have a great day? Like, that's beautiful, and that's important.
Yeah, it's very important. I believe it's very important. Since I try and live my life, I do. Because you know what people are going through, man.
Yeah.
You. Just like, sorry guys, we'll pay for the damages that Noor's made to the roof by growing up and through it. Okay, sorry. This guy, I want to get back to the other. Okay, well, let's ask you this: your favorite quote and why? And let me try. This book is just a mad thing. So I've got all different stuff in this. Your favorite quote and why? And that's quote. Doesn't have to be just your favorite quote and why, please. I'm trying to find the general questions now in this book of madness.
It's a very basic one, but
it's fine.
Oh no, do you know what? Yeah, this is one of my mantras. Expectations are a setup. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. No, I swear down. No. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I swear.
Is that it?
Yeah, just expectations are set up.
So usually when I hear things like expectations are set up, so don't expect to be setting up. But it's just like in a nutshell,
expectations are set up. In any, genuinely, like expectations are a set up, and it goes back to even where like one of the first things that we spoke about, because
that's strong, you know. I like it.
And no, in every situation, I swear you'll stay smiling. You'll stay smiling if you actually deep expectations are set up. Don't expect nothing. Don't expect nothing.
No, I'm looking for these questions. I'm fully involved. I'm fully like it's going around in my head. Expectations are set up. You're damn right. In every sense,
it don't matter who it is, even if it's your mum. Don't expect she's going to make you dinner. Don't expect
what did you say?
I said don't expect she's going to make you dinner.
Yeah, expectations are set up.
Yes, there is set up. Like there is set up. You're like not that like obviously it's not nice when you like people do things or whatever, like that's great, cool. Don't ever expect it. Like expecting it will get you sad in every situation. Like if with anything, like you should expect stuff from yourself, of course, like but externally, expectations are a setup. That's my favorite quote because it's helped me in so many situations. Like that, actually just deep. Like, don't worry about that.
Expectations are a setup. I'm gonna put that in the memory Rolodex. I'm gonna try and use that.
I like that.
I have days and days of not expecting this, expecting that. When it doesn't go that way, it's like
you get.
But if you expect nothing, you get everything. Nothing,
you get everything. Everything's a blessing. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's calm because something else is gonna happen.
Come on.
Yeah.
We got okay. So we now got the normal questions. I found the normal questions, not the poet questions. I found the normal questions. All right. Devised by me and the Mac, of course, aka the Wizard, and the voice behind the camera. So, tell me something about you no one knows.
Well, if no one knows, then they're gonna find out. Like what? Can I get an example? Like what would you mean?
Like okay, all right. Not a lot of people know. No one knows, but not a lot of people know because of my years and all that now, and the time when I did it to now that I used to do ballet. Not only a handful of people. So the people that was in my class would know, but I have no connection with them anymore.
That's
my two closest friends will know.
How did you get into that?
I just wanted to dance. No, I did contemporary actually. I was in college, beautiful. But my mates would know because they're still my friends now. Axel Swift, Bassy. They used to cuss me. Oh yeah, you're going to dance. That's it, boy. But I used to do, I'm dead. She's like, that's yeah, no. I'm just saying, it's just like I think the last person that came on was like, no one knows I paint or I write. Like it was a private thing. Yeah. Just like it doesn't have not ask you to tell me about the dead bodies you have hidden in the cellar.
I was gonna say, don't fucking chat about those.
You know that, right? Yeah, you look like joking. They call me small and I was big, so I went in the cellar now. You hear me?
Do you know what's mad?
This brown girl. What? Fucking hell, no, I'm just joking.
So, what's mad is I don't think a lot of people know this. I trained to be in the army for 4 years.
You tried to be in the army?
I trained. I was actually in training. I did 4 years of training. I was very young. It was under 18s to get to Sandhurst because I was trying to get a degree for free. Finesse the system from young.
Damn.
So yeah, basically, I remember again. It goes back to the whole like just always trying to grind because my parents. I think, okay, because my dad's from private school, but my mum's from private school, they never deeped what the logical way is to go about things. They never had to. They never had to. So it's like for me, there's a lot of shit I had to figure out. No, let's swear down. There's just a lot of shit I had to figure out myself. So for example, like when I was like, oh, what I wanted to be, and I was like to my dad, oh, Dad, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a judge. He's like, you're mad. Do you know how expensive that is? You don't only have to get a degree. You then have to get your BPTC, your masters, your this, your that. Like I can't afford that. You need to figure out something that you can afford.
I won't call it a name, but I won't.
But no. But the thing is, deep it in his head, there was no such thing as student finance because why does he need to get a loan? Because daddy has money. So that's one thing he didn't even deep like as a option. So for me, I was like, I still have to be a lawyer. Like it ain't up to dad to figure this out. Like I need to figure it out. And for some reason, so I'm looking up how to get a degree for free. And in 2009, I don't know why, SFE was not the first option. It was join the army to get a free degree. So
what's SFC?
SFE is Student Finance England. So I'm on like the house computer in 2009, how to get a degree for free, like literally. And student finance doesn't come up. Like the loan thing, that's not the first thing comes up. First thing comes up, Google's about them times. 2009. The first thing comes up is join, but the first thing comes up is join the army, get a degree. Yeah, and so
fuckers, isn't they?
Fuckers.
Yeah, fuckers. You know that because they
comes up. First thing comes up. And so now,
come on, put your life on the line for a degree.
But obviously, I never actually planned to join the army. I'm just trying to do the training to get the degree, like because they'll pay for the degree if you get to this college. This college is called Sandhurst. So you do your normal school, whatever, but you go to this college like when you're 16. So that's what I started working towards. And then I got to 16. We had an assembly. Honestly, it's the dumbest story ever because there's 4 years of my life just wasted. Because literally, not wasted. Of course, no, not wasted. Not wasted. Come on, we out here. I'm a shot, shooter. But no, it's like literally in assembly one day. We're 16 years old now, and they're telling us about if you mans want to go to college, like. College is your option. If you want to go to uni, we've got the student finance loan officers here talking to you guys about how you guys can all apply for a loan. I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? And they're like, yeah, we pay for your degree for free. And I'm like, and I don't have to join the army. Great. Like, yo, this is the one. So I went and quit, like literally straight away. Because I was like, what
Seriously?
the fuck? Yeah, because I was literally there for the degree. Like I was there because that was racist. Like all them man. Listen, they used to call me. What did they used to call me, man? They used to call me Packy Rambo. I swear down. The teachers, the instructors. Like, I swear down. The instructors, like the sergeants. These are all. They all used to be in the army, and they've either left because of like medical leave, or they've retired. So they're either bare old ex-army officers, the people like teaching us lot, or they're like injured. They have like one leg or something because like they lost it on tour, and it's crazy because it was like they were not all there. So the fact that we as kids was just left in the in like with
their supervision,
under their supervision.
Cheeky
bastards. But I think that also added to me being bigger than I think I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course. It would help build character.
Yeah,
whoever didn't break it down, built you up.
100%. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because that sadly, or realistically, there's people out there that call people names like that or think like that and stuff like that, and only when you encounter them, because I encountered a lot of them when I was young,
and you think it's okay, innit? But when you're okay, sometimes because I was so young and in that
it was fucked up. Like, I'm just saying, not trying to take away, I knew that
was a little thing though. That was a little thing. That was just not that it was a little thing. Of course, like whatever. In another situation, it would have been bad, but in that situation, to me, that didn't seem too bad because I was just a little kid and I was just like, oh right, they're calling me Rambo, like whatever. However, you misinterpret. However, I know they weren't trying to call me Rambo. Like now you know. I know. Oh God.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's saying that, like going through that, like I was gonna say, it's like maybe even at the point I might not know what the thing was, but knowing later on you kind of know. But you build a resilience. You just something that would offend someone, you can understand it. Do you know what I mean? It's different for us because we were exposed to it. Doesn't make it right or whatever. I've been exposed to a lot of stuff. Sure, you have too. Even just letting me know that bit there, and that helps you be able to deal with that. Deal with things. If you're exposed to it, you can then build a resilience or a strength towards it. Do you know what I mean? Or a way to combat it. If you're not, then it'll just crumble you down. But I don't like them fuckers though. I still don't care.
I don't like any of them.
Fucking that wankers.
Don't like any of them.
They're wankers. I try not to swear in this whole show. I don't think I swore that many times. Rewind it and watch it again if you want. I haven't sworn that many times. I'm going to try and swear less in all the shows, but they're wankers.
Comment every time he swears.
I'll be swearing like a motherfucker. Motherfucker this, motherfucker that. Did I say motherfucker? Motherfucker. Damn, motherfucker. What's your first love?
Ooh. Oh, do you know what's really cute? I just thought of my partner, but I know you mean that in a what thing is your first love?
Whatever came to your head the first time, what came to your head first was the first thing. Yeah. It's your partner's your first love.
Yeah, my partner's my first love.
Tell us about your partner.
Oh, he's beautiful. He's great. He's lovely. It's mad. We didn't meet long ago, you know. Yeah. But it's, you know, them ones where like, when you know type of thing.
Yeah, you're happy. You're just like,
yeah. Yeah, it's real sweet. It's real sweet. Nah, I love him. Yeah. It's great. Bless. It's great. It is Bless. Great. It is great. Nice. Yeah. He's a beautiful person.
How did you meet? I want to ask you that about if it's a bit up anything, just for poetry.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, I know.
If you're not at home, sorry I hurt your ears. No, she got the camera. I want to hear how. So what was it? Was
so
he,
basically,
bars and
imagine now. So he is a poet. I'm a poet. He's a poet up in the West Midlands scene, and I used to live there. I used to live in Birmingham.
Okay.
I've moved back now, but yeah, I used to live up there. And what's crazy is when I lived there, we never like really knew each other like that. We saw each other on the scene and that, but we never really knew each other. And then around April, May times, he basically runs an events company, just a promotional company called Spoken Lyric, just promoting poetry. Okay. And he needed someone to jump on that team. And I wanted to do more in the scene anyways. Like I was just a poet, like, and I wanted to do more in like the events. I wanted to put people on, like, I just like giving people opportunities, and I feel like I was seeing opportunities, and I wanted to get everybody involved in everything. So I pitched, like he reached out, I pitched that to him as well. I was like, hey, like I have all these ideas, like I want to do this. And for months we were just working together. Like we just had this like, but it was every day and it was just business. But it was like we're building this empire. I mean, like we both had all these ideas.
Did you ever both go to grab a pen at the same time and touch each other?
No, this is all him living in the Midlands, me living in London. Okay. Like this is emails. Like this is actually like documents. This is document. No, this is documents.
You had it cross
no. This is completely professional. It started off very, very professional. Like obviously there was like cheeky flirting here and there because come on, like he's a very attractive guy. So yeah. We was started off very professional, like very business. Like we was genuinely just proper just working on this thing. And I think both of us like just deep like like we just appreciate just how like just passionate each other are just about just different things, like just about everything in life. And he's just a lovely person. And I think we did like one project together, and then it was just like, this is done. This ain't just business. I mean, like, this just
appreciate each other. Appreciate each other.
I mean, I really appreciate each other.
Okay,
but he's a beautiful person.
You're to be PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13 always. Yeah, come on. But no, he is a beautiful person. I'm very grateful for him.
Oh, bless. Your first heartbreak.
Oh, that one was bad. You know, I was in a long relationship when I was very, very young. So from the ages like 15 to 19, I was in a long relationship, and he was just not a nice person, and it was just
wanker.
Very bad. Yeah, very, very bad, very bad. So I think that one, that one was pretty bad. I think that one, I don't know, I feel like maybe I still kind of repress a lot of things from that situation, and I think that sometimes we do, but yeah, obviously we live and we learn, and we get through things.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's in a bad relationship or going through something that they shouldn't be going through?
Yeah, man, because I feel like, do you know what's mad?
Talk to them. Get your mic right. Get your mic right, and then talk to them.
Let's get the mic right. Do you know what's mad? I feel like in these situations, a lot of times you tell everyone, that everything's good, because it's your friends that also don't rate the person, so you don't want no I told you so's in it. So you're just acting like everything's good, and then when it gets really bad, you don't have anyone to chat to because you've told everyone it's all good. So I would always say chat to people. Always chat to people, because see, when you stop chatting to people, then no one knows what's going on. Like you can only and you ain't chatting to yourself. Like there's certain amount of things you can say to yourself. Do you know what I mean? You always need somebody else to either validate what you're saying or tell you you're moving mad, because sometimes you're moving mad.
Give you a different perspective, innit?
Always. You always need that. You always need you always need to talk. You always need to talk. Nice. Communication, always. Conversation is also therapy. Just like, not even just writing, conversation is therapy too.
Yeah. Don't hold it in, let it out.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me see. No. Okay. What's the worst thing you've... No, let's be positive. Forget that. What's advice for your younger self?
Oh.
And then we're going to go favourite film, and then you're going to ask me a question. And then we're going to do poem.
Okay.
And then we're going to... If you want a question, you have a question. And then I think we're going to... Yeah. Yeah. Okay?
Okay. I would say to my younger self, just be a kid in it. Like genuinely, just go be a kid. Like stop trying to figure out how to fix the world and how to like figure out all of life's issues, because you're gonna make that your career one day. So I beg, just go out and play.
Nice. I like that. I beg, just go out and play. Last question from me. What's your favourite film?
I really love.
No, there's one more question after that.
Oh, okay. I really love Spirited Away. Have you seen? Do you know what Spirited Away is? Yeah, I really love Spirited Away.
Manga
Studio Ghibli. That manga one. I've seen it. I watched that. I don't usually watch movies.
Dumplings in that and stuff.
Yeah.
Funny.
I get you. It's the flashes. Yeah.
The animation is really nice in that.
Yeah. So that's the only animation that's still drawn. Like whereas everything is like digitalized now. That one they still draw it. Like they have like a whole. Imagine like it's a whole like building of like offices of like just people in desks drawing, and that's how like all their movies are still made, which is mad.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, it actually makes a difference, but it's mad. But that, because so I don't really watch movies, innit? So when everyone talks about movies and films,
you're too busy making your own movie of your life.
But like, no, it's not even
that, right? You're making a movie of your life. It's a movie. Like, what's your own movie?
But it's mad. Like I can't sit there for 2 hours, and if I do sit there for 2 hours, I'm not remembering everything that my friend who's also sat there for 2 hours is remembering. So when everyone's talking about the movie afterwards, I'm vexed because when was the test? How do you remember all of these things? Like what I don't understand.
I'm dead. First I thought she said when was the test of the thing, but now I realise like I didn't know it was a movie quiz. I didn't know I was supposed to be paying attention.
I was meant to be like, do you know what I mean? Like trying to proper.
When was the test?
So so I don't like movies, but movies like that, I love it because you don't really like. You just look at like you just and it's beautiful and you just enjoy it. So I would say and I can watch that over and over and over again, and I love it. So I would say definitely that one.
I'm dead. When was the test? No one told me it was a test. I thought we were just watching the film. Fucking hell! I swore again. I don't know why.
Comment.
All right, you got to pick one because I've got 2 questions. I ain't got much time left. These are
right.
Did you say right?
Right hand, yeah.
That's this time.
Yeah. Whatever question that is.
I knew that because the left hand makes an L.
Yeah. We know.
Loser. I'm joking. One wish. What would it be?
To end all suffering in the world.
If you ended all suffering, and no one ever suffered, how would you be able to appreciate not suffering? Like it's all right. I like that.
I hear you.
Maybe you wouldn't know any better. She'd be right. Like a kid who doesn't know that he has to pay for the bills. He can just be a kid. He's still all right.
He's all right.
Yeah, I suppose I'll ask my question myself, but
he's all right. I would say I don't know. But you're right though. You're right. I feel like life is balance. But if you're saying a wish, if I had a magic genie, then I don't know. I feel like I would like to see what that looks like. I would like to see what that is because I think my ideal world is just.
When you say suffering, you mean everything, all suffering? Inner
suffering, I would say. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know that mental battle that people face?
People still might get headaches, might get piles and stuff like that. You don't mind suffering with a bad knee, but the emotional suffering, you take away all the emotional suffering. Let's like make it specific. And actually I would say that mental struggle that maybe that people go through, that emotional suffering, that internal suffering, I would take that away. What was that thing you said before about don't be fooled, or what was the thing you said? You said it wasn't advice. What was it she said? About don't believe something, expectations or something.
Expectations are a setup.
Expectations are a setup. See, like, and when you don't have expectations, you don't have the worry and stuff, the emotion, like that will come in as well. Like I can just remind him that expectations are a setup. Thank you. You got a question for me?
I do. Right?
Yeah, and then we're going to do your poem, and then he might have a question for you to do your poem, and then we'll lead out.
Okay.
Don't scare me because you knocked me back with a poem already. You got me. It's lucky I sat in my back pocket, isn't it?
Okay. Oh. Do you know what? I had a question, but I thought I want to ask you a bit of a deeper question. So I'm going to think, Okay, so, the first one.
But they're not here.
Okay, that's fine then. So, the first question I had, I'll just ask it, was what's your favourite thing about doing this? Like, about having these sit-downs and conversations? Like, you got into this for a reason. You started doing this for a reason. What's your favourite thing about this?
My favourite thing about this is understanding that it takes so many different people to make up the world, and sitting across the table from all these different people, there's one thing that's universal. Like we're just humans. We just all got story. Everyone's just like, not to be cliche or whatever. Everyone's got an inner light, a warmth. Everyone's got light and darkness, like the yin and yang kind of thing. And sitting across the table, it enables me to understand myself better, and to get an insight into people, and to have that exhalation that we spoke about in the poetry. Because talking about stuff that is controversial, whatever that I may have seen, you may have seen, analysing it, chopping it up and spinning it out. Like even now, you asked me that question has caused me to talk in this manner. My whole being is kind of like vibrating nicely right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Even talking like this makes me feel good, and I'm thinking, and my energy. This is the reason that I did it. Having this gentleman over here is the reason. The people at home listening to stuff and being able to take away from it, whatever it may be within this, because we covered a lot of different stuff. We covered like arranged marriages, we covered coming from your heritage and background, we covered being big and black, we covered about relationship, we covered about how we're perceived in the world, we covered about how we want to do things, inhibitions, no limitations. You've spoken about a lot today, and that, if anyone can get any little thing from that, like you said, I'm happy as Larry, because I know if I can get something from someone, it makes me so happy. And whether that's the appreciation of me saying good morning, have a good day, enjoy your day, and know that they've received it right, or it's a pearls of wisdom like I've got from you today, or it's encouragement I get from like the wizard on a regular basis, I'm winning. Because this life, I don't know when I'm gonna die, but like I know I'm trying to live the best possible way I can live now. So like this isn't work to me. This is fucking fun. This is amazing. This is lovely. I'm gonna look back at this now. We're immortalized right now. No? Do you know what I mean? And this is it's just, I could go on for ages, but I think I might get a bit misty if I keep going. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I love talking. I love people, and I love good energy. I love sharing. I love helping people. So that's why we're here. That's why you got to give me free for that question.
Yeah.
1, 2.
That's cool.
Come on.
And also, how did you two start working together? Because like I feel like this works very well, so there must be a good dynamic and energy.
Came down from the mountain. Jesus, he said, "You gonna work with Mike? You gonna work with Big J, Big CPC Productions? We gonna win. We gonna win. We gonna win with the wizard and the voice behind the camera. He's not here, but he's here in spirit. Yeah. Hallelujah. I'm sorry.
Amen.
Amen. For real. No, it's inevitable. We're family. He's amazing in his own right. The voice behind the camera is not here right now. He's amazing in his own right. Like I do what I do. We linked up. We're family. We've got inherent respect. I've got a lot of love for my guys. I delight vice versa. We're making great music. That's it. Like we're creating great stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's it for me, man. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with my life, your life, his life, or anyone's life. But I know that today we're filming, next week I'll phone a wizard, and whatever's going on, like whatever work we've got to do, I can share with him and ask him if he had a good day, and if it could be vice versa, and tell him I love him, so vice versa. You know what I mean? It's good. And then there's everyone who's been on my show, I've now got connection to them. I think I've got 57 shows out to date. Go back and watch them if you haven't seen them yet, guys. There's a lot of footage to watch, a lot of education, okay? A lot of pearls of wisdom.
Episode 100 soon come.
Yeah, 100 soon come. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's meant to be. The same reason you're sitting across the table, Noor. Like, it's meant to be. Like, from when I spoke to you and saw you, you was always coming to do this. You're coming to do another show as well, unbeknownst to you. But it was always meant to be like, so when I had a conversation with you, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what it is. It's like good energy is almost like magnets. They're gonna get together. Do you know what I mean? And create great things. So like, and that's how I want to live my life. I've lived it a certain way up until now. Like the 100th episode, watch this space because all will be revealed. 100th episode, I will be interviewed.
Yeah. Come
so
on.
Anyway,
no, I'm excited for that one. That's
I've done loads up until now, and it's just where it's at right now is where I want it to be at. Like good stuff. This is what I want. Equilibrium, my kind of equilibrium. This is what I want. So yeah, that's why.
All right, last question to you, sir. I would say, for someone that is trying to do what you're trying to do. And by what you're trying to do, I mean just empower people, just putting people onto just like appreciating themselves, giving themselves that love, giving everybody else that love, like just sharing in it, just sharing their truth, not even just sharing your truth, really, like sharing their truth. Someone that wants to do that, like what's the business plan? Like, because everyone can have a beautiful idea, a creative idea. Yeah.
Okay, so
but what's the business plan? How do you make it happen? Like, how do you make it happen?
You just you get up, like it sounds cliche, and you say this happening every day. You identify stuff. You know what's right and wrong, so you know if something is detrimental or it's not good, and you have to be painstakingly honest with yourself and say, okay, this is not good, and then tell the person or the thing it's not good, understand it, and move it out. Or you have to say this is not good, and if however long it remains, understand this until you eradicate that. You can't move on to the next thing which you want to be good. Then you're not like, I don't think I'm better than anyone, but I don't think I'm worse than anyone. I know what I've done in my life, so I've got no right to judge you or anyone that comes into my arena. I've got no right. That's how I think. Also, they've got no right to judge me. So if it there might be a problem. But even then, I must have to identify. Say, okay, look, be the bigger person, rise to the top. This is what this is. That's what that isn't. Either deal with them or don't deal with them. And when you're cleaning your heart, can't try my best to be cleaning my heart. It's all good. You'll continue to do what you're supposed to do, whatever that may be. And you just do. You just continue to do. Like, I have to go to work. I've got kids. I've got family. I've got this and that. But I choose not to give anyone any negative energy.
Facts.
Like, give people positive energy. If you're going to give anything, give them positive energy. And if you can't give positive energy, give honesty and say, look, well, I don't feel like this today. This is what I feel. Please give me some space. Do you know what I mean? Dial them in. And if they can't respect it, then so what after that? Because you've still done what you need to do. And if you continue to move forward like that, no one can tell you what you're doing, how you're doing it, or why you're doing it. You'll know. You have that self-satisfaction. Then you can spread that out. You can't lie to yourself. That's the main thing in this. You can't tell to everybody, well, I'm this and that and the third, and you don't believe it, or it's not true in your heart, or you're actually trying to get this. Like I'm saying to you, you're like, okay, like for argument's sake, imagine I was trying to get in your knickers. He's not happy. He's not that. Do you know what I mean? But if it was that, then it'll be all fucked up, augmentated. It'll be all fucked up. Do you know what I mean?
The intentions are wrong.
The intentions are wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't hide that. When your intentions are right, it's all good. Because you can and you will continue to go to wherever you get to. And even if you get like anchors or whatever pulling you back, you'll find a way to shrug them off. You'll identify as an anchor. You might sit down until the thing melts off itself. Do you know? But that's it for me. Just understanding oneself, being honest with oneself, and just trying to be and treating everyone how you want to be. Not how you want to be treated. Because we had this in the last episode. Discussing with people and finding out how people want to be treated.
Ooh, yes.
And then treating them how they want to be treated. And even that, and this is from Aaron Raising Boys to Men episode that came out not too long ago. This was an education a conversation we had. Until you find out what another person wants and needs, and you give that interest in the person, like you don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts.
Don't expect them to do anything you want them to do or whatever, or you get on at all if you can't take that time to understand that from them. And then when you do, understand that they're human and you're human. Your things might not cross the line all the time. Be fucking honest, because people are just being not honest. Like they want this, but they don't want to give no money, or it's a madness.
Yeah.
Don't be mad. Be honest. Be cool.
Don't be mad. Be honest.
Don't be mad. Be honest. Be cool. Be honest if you're mad. Some people are mad.
Yeah.
Be honest, because I know I'm mad. Be honest if you're mad.
If you're mad. Be honest if you're mad. Be honest if you're mad. If you're mad, it's okay.
Yeah. But when you're being mad, don't blame someone else for your madness. Because people be you know, you done that to me. No. You're on the madness right now. You're mad.
It's okay.
You're moving mad, innit? Because you had a bad day. You didn't get no pussy. You didn't get no dick. You didn't get no food.
But identify those things. You're not mad. Is there like there's certain things that are making you mad? But also, nothing can make you mad.
Because you're allowed to make you mad. I'm dead. You ever see that thing? You ever see that thing? You know what a babushka doll is? Babushka. No. Okay, there's a doll called babushka. I think it's babushka. It's a Russian doll, so it comes in a thing.
Oh yeah, babushka doll.
That's what we're doing here. There's another one.
There's another one.
But you're not mad unless you're really mad. Unless someone says you're mad. But yeah, I mean, I don't proclaim to know the answers and stuff. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of stuff going on the internet. I put my phone on, like I say every day. They do this motivation, that, this, that. Everyone's got an opinion and stuff. Great. It's nice. It's but you just, the best thing you have to find out is, what do you want? Like literally, what do you want? You can't understand what you want until you really understand yourself. What you think you want might be different. Is it from outside or inside or whatever? How are you going to get it, whatever that is? What are you doing to get it? That's another question you ask yourself. So if you can answer them 3 questions for yourself and then add on the end of it, no excuses. That's actually on my wall at home. What do you want? What are you doing to get it? How do you get it? No excuses.
No excuses.
So if you follow those things there, be all right. What do I want? I'll be able to talk to people and be nice. People respect me, I respect them. How do I get it? By respecting people, being a man of my word, doing what it says on the tin. Do you know what I mean? What am I doing towards, I think, whatever the next thing was, and then no excuses. So do it on a daily basis. And if you don't do it on a daily basis and things are fucked up, then
you know why.
You're the person, you're the reason why it's fucked up. And that's okay. Because no one's perfect, but you can always do better tomorrow. That's another thing. Don't ever think that it's on the internet as well, but it's so true. Tomorrow's always another day. Start that day. If you fucked up today, all right, you fucked up today, but don't kill yourself for the fuck up today. You can always do better. Yeah, you can always do better. You can always do worse and worse. There's nothing wrong with put your feet up for 5 minutes either. Don't be like, put your feet up for 5 minutes. Put your feet up for 5 minutes.
You've got to rest.
You know what I mean? Have a drink, have a holiday, have a burger, have some chips, have a spliff, whatever it is that makes you have some sex, whatever makes you happy that you might be abstaining from, have a little bit of it and then go back to the drawing board, because without enjoying things, we can't actually enjoy the entirety of life. Can't be, you know what I mean? That's how I see. Some people are like, no. What are you looking at? No. People are like, all right, a little bit, but why?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I had my chocolate last night. I had my bit of sex, you know.
I'm good now.
Yes. I had my burger. Yeah, let's work. Yeah, so that's just I've enjoyed talking to you.
I've really enjoyed talking to you.
I want your poem, and then get your poem out. I'm gonna try and find another poem for you as well if I can find one.
All right.
Oh, he's phoned me, but it doesn't matter. Go on, get your poem.
Okay,
all right, cool. Let him settle and sit down, and we're good to go.
Let's get settled. So this one, it was actually World Mental Health Day yesterday, and another brilliant poet on the scene, Fisky, has a show called Mind Over Matter. Phenomenal show.
I've heard about that show. I've never had the privilege to be on it. What's it called again? Mind Over Matter?
Mind Over Matter.
What's the poet's name?
Oh my God, Fisky London. Fisky LDN.
Fisky LDN, excuse me, sorry, I know it's a Fisky LDN. I have Fawole here. Love to come and perform on your show. Let me know. I'll be there. Please. Thank you very much. If it's an open mic thing, I'll come and do the open mic thing as well.
Open
but if
mic.
I get an invite, I love that much more. But yeah, I'll do. Yeah, thank you.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, camera now.
No, phenomenal show. The whole premise is mind over matter. The whole premise is mental health. Like, it happens on a Monday night, so it's literally just like the way he prefaces it is, he says, like, if you've just had a shit day and you just want to come vent about your boss, it doesn't even have to rhyme, just come and jump on the open mic, bro. Nice. Like, Mondays are hard, basically, is the whole thing. And it's just beautiful. So I went there yesterday, and it was World Mental Health Day, and I did this piece. So I wrote this for my best friend. It's fine. I wrote this for my best friend.
Don't start with take the AC off first.
That's fine. I wrote this for my best friend when he was going through something, and like he just wasn't opening up to people around him, and I could tell. And it was like sometimes he'd open up a little bit, but he wouldn't really. Most times, like, everything's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, so this piece is called "Everything Is Fine." Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. See, we tell ourselves this lie nearly every day of our lives, but really, truly, like, in your mind, is everything fine? Look, it's okay to not be okay all the time, because there is stress in this life. And if you ask me what it is, what's stressing you, why, I don't really say much, because I don't really know. But I know that I'm not the only one that feels like this inside. See, he was fine yesterday, but today he just wants to hide, and he can't figure out why. So he's in his bedroom, he's shut his blinds, but it's still light outside. Not that he'd know, because he didn't sleep all night, and he just don't feel right, and he just don't know why. See, his thoughts race. He can't control the pace. They take over. He rolls over and he cries. Just then, his girl calls. He picks up the phone. He completely changes his tone, and he tells her everything's fine. She says, "Are you sure? I feel like there's something on your mind." He says, "I just told you I'm fine." All right. They laugh, they smile, they finish talking. He cuts the line, but see, that was just so he could lay back down to cry, because everything is not fine. And even when it is fine, it's not really, because he's waiting for it not to be fine again. And see, that moment, that anxiety, it builds up inside, and I'm tired of holding it in. As if this anxiety that I feel is some sort of sin. Like, if I'm not okay, I must not believe in God. Like, if I have anxiety, my faith must be weak. Once that's built up, I'm sure you'll be happy. What the fuck? See, the amount of faith that I have, you wouldn't believe. My faith is the only thing that allows me to breathe. I've spent hours, days, weeks, months on my knees asking God, please help me understand why. Why do I feel like everything isn't fine with no substantial reason as to why? Look, so now I'm hiding behind a fake smile, and then I'll believe and everything is fine. Because look, if I fake this smile long enough, maybe the wind will blow and I'll be stuck like this forever. At least that's what Mumsy told me happens when we make funny faces in the wind. See, a smile is a funny sort of face because sometimes it just happens. And see, them moments there we can't replace. But when it's forced, when it's faked, when we're only smiling to get ourselves through the day, smiling to get ourselves through the pain, that smile's lost in vain. Because when people stop looking, that smile turns into a sigh. Because everything is not fine. Thank you, man.
Oh,
this has been beautiful, bro. Honest, this has been beautiful. Thank you so much. Like, this has been lovely.
No, thank you so much. Give me 3. That's the homie. Noor, the poet in the studio.
Yeah.
The wizard.
The wizard.
And I'm Fawole. And that was Life Talks. That was yeah.